Busy first week for Billy Napier. Everything going on around the Gator program right now. Press conference on Sunday, making visits, making hires, players leaving to the portal. There's plenty to get into here. Kind of I guess we can review a little bit what everything that's been going on. Never a dull moment for sure, but especially right now. I mean, so many storylines going on with the Gators program right now, and Billy Napier lead the charge. So, take this where you want it, guys. But I mean, look, most recently, Jacob Copeland decided to transfer away. Nick Evers decommitting. Corey Raymond joining the staff. Some other targets for filling out the rest of the staff. That's going to take some time. So plenty to discuss here on this Gators Breakdown Spaces. Jeremy, let me bring you in here. Looks like it's connecting, Jeremy, but looks like it's taking a while. Oh, there we go. Can't hear you, though, for some reason. There you go. Well, you were there. All right. Technology. Purity, I think you're coming in here. Hello. All right. Well, don't know what the issue is here. Twitter got to do a better job of making sure all the spaces work. But we can get your takeaways for a lot of these big storylines. I could have done a Gators Breakdown episode every week or every day this week if I wanted to. With everything flying in left and right. Hadn't even really got a chance to talk too much with you guys. The big Corey Raymond news. I mean, that was a huge pull there for Florida. Not only pulling him from LSU. And I mean, we know everything going on there. It's not like you pulled him from a stable situation, but either way, you got him. And I think the big thing is for me with this, Florida's not the only program that wanted him. So, and Florida's the one that got him. So, first of all, getting him away from LSU, and second of all, keeping him away from everybody else in the SEC, maybe even Miami. I mean, a lot of schools would have made moves to get Corey Raymond on their staff. Florida was the one that ended up. And look, that one came from nowhere. Like we've heard all these names for filling out this Florida staff under Billy Napier. Not that one. I mean, that one come out of left field. I had no inclination whatsoever that was going to happen. And I have no problem admitting when things like that surprise me. I mean, granted, I get stuff sent my way all the time to share with you guys. Not this one. This one was completely under the radar on my end. And some other people may have known. I'm not going to sit here and act like I did. That one was a doozy. That one was a surprise, and a great surprise there for Gator Nation. That's a big pull. And Billy Napier's trying to fill out this first full staff. We've known one reason you bring Billy Napier in is because the ability to recruit. And now you're seeing his ability to put together a staff that we know can recruit. So, of course, a lot of Louisiana ties. We'll see if those come over. You'd love to create a pipeline there. Of course, the state of Florida should be the first concern, first order of business. But you can create some type of pipeline to that state with Billy Napier's history at Louisiana and the Lafayette area and recruiting that state. Now, of course, you want to see the profile raise compared to what Louisiana he was able to recruit there at Louisiana. But you did that when you hired Corey Raymond. So Tell you what, that was a big time hire there, in him being able to pull him in and get that hire there. So Jeremy, try again, man. I see you in there. I'm not sure what the issue is here.
Hey, good morning, Dave.
There we go, loud and clear. I got you.
Hey, I just want to say one thing before I get started talking about my Gators. Hey, I had a lifelong friend pass away last night, Demarius Thomas. I just want y'all to keep everybody in his family in his prayers. Hey, but on this Florida hire, man, Corey Raymond is big time. Corey Raymond is elite, man. I couldn't tell you the last time I think we had a recruiter this good on staff. I think if we can get the coach from Penn State to come back to Florida, I think we're fixing to lock down a lot of things. But I got to go.
Yeah, the word is there. Yep. Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, the word is, I can't confirm this on my end, but I've heard from a lot of people. Juwan Sider's supposed to be meeting with Florida today, possibly this morning, before he heads back to Pennsylvania. So I know that name's been thrown around a lot out there. I can't. That's not a direct knowledge of me. That's just me being told there. So I'll throw that out there, but I won't be the first one to be saying that. That's going on out there. That former Florida staff member Juwan Sider under Jim McElwain's staff should be meeting with maybe Napier and Florida today. So we'll see if that's another big hire that can happen for Billy Napier and his first staff, filling out that first staff. We've all heard the big names thrown out the last couple of days. I think Demetrius is in here. I think Demetrius, was it you or somebody else who asked Tosh Lapoy in the Jaguars press conference yesterday that if any communication with Napier, if he'd be joining the Florida staff. Of course, he says all focus is on Tennessee Titans this week. But yeah, here's Demetrius in here right now. I'm bringing him in here. Hey, D.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How about you?
Good. Yeah, so yesterday, every Thursday and Friday, we're able to get, different players and sometimes different assistant coaches out there after practice. It's like a little mix zone as opposed to the open locker room we would normally have in a non-COVID season. So I, of course, requested Tosh Lapoy, and I was able to talk to him about it and sort of ask him about the Jaguars. And then finally I kind of followed up about the Gators and sort of where that stands with him. And then he gave me that answer where, he didn't outright deny it, but he's, of course, not going to say yes. So,
right.
The writing's sort of on the wall with that one, in my opinion.
Yeah, man, I think so too. There's a lot of smoke on that one, right, from a lot of areas, and look, that's one reason you guys get to ask him about it, because there is a lot of smoke on that one. So yeah, I don't expect him, as you said, he's not going to say it right now, being under contract with the Jaguars and everything that goes on with that. You, like you said, you expect him to give that type of answer.
Exactly.
But some other names out there, you have to see how this plays out. Former Gator staffer Chris Rumpf under Jim McElwain, his name's being thrown out there as well in NFL circles of being discussed for this. Charlie Partridge's name keeps coming up as well. I messaged him yesterday, actually last night, so as quick as you can get, about 12 hours ago. Charlie Partridge said he told me he had not heard from Billy Napier. But he is very interested in the job. He would take the job if offered. Of course, I'm sure everything would have to be right with that. But Charlie Partridge would love to be on this staff. He would love to be on the Florida staff. He's told me he's had conversations with Dan Mullen that went really nowhere, and now he's trying to he's throwing his name into the hat of a job at Florida right now. But he said he told me last night that he had not heard from Billy Napier. So take that. For what it's worth there. I'm just giving you guys the latest update as far as somebody I can have a conversation with. And Charlie Partridge right now looks like not an option. But Billy Napier also could be still vetting, still be going through a list of candidates there. So I wouldn't completely shut the door on it. But as of now, Charlie Partridge has not heard from Billy Napier. So there's your mean, look, that would be your defensive front, and say Rumpf comes along and Lapoy. I would say Rumpf would be your defensive line coach, and Lapoy outside linebacker, maybe co-DC as well. However that works out. But those are the names that are out there. If Lapoy and Rumpf both somehow end up on staff, that would be the likely scenario. Rumpf at defensive line. Lapoy has coached outside linebackers before when he was at Alabama, I believe. So while Tony would be coaching inside linebackers co-DC, you'd have Lapoy outside linebacker co-DC there, and then Raymond back there in secondary, of course. So as far as offensive staff, like I said, don't really know. Hopefully, if that meeting with Jawan Sider is happening today, hopefully that goes well. And who knows if the timeline on that one, would he want to coach Penn State bowl game? Would he not? There's a lot to figure out there as well. And wide receiver coach, no idea where that would be looking right now for Florida. So still some question marks as far as where a potential staff could go for the Gators. So trying to keep up with some other stuff. I tell you what, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So there's no. I mean, I feel like I can miss news at any moment. We're looking at all this. I guess another storyline would be Doug Belk getting that new contract at Houston. So if we thought he was any kind of option, and maybe he was early, I don't know. That's what the reports were. But we did get word that his salary got doubled at Houston, I believe, up to $1 million. I mean, of course, I'm sure Florida could have paid more. Also, when Tony's co-DC, I don't know if there was any indication that would be the case. And the co-DC, did the co-DC title come for Tony because moving on from Belk, then them not knowing that was going to happen? Or I kind of tend to believe that's who Billy Napier wanted anyway, and there might be a co-DC title there for Tony anyway. And maybe Belk saw that and said, "No, I'm not interested in that." I'm just throwing out scenarios. I'm just guessing here, thinking out loud. I don't know, but I think there's a couple scenarios and a couple ways to look at that when you're talking about Doug Belk and maybe how that plays out as well. Jamar Chaney coming back as well, former staffer in the early part of Mullen's tenure at Florida. Very, very well respected in the coaching, in the recruiting circles there. Really had a close relationship with his defensive linemen and defensive lineman recruits when he was here at Florida. So I think that's a big-time good pickup to get him back on staff for Florida. So I'm telling you, there's just a lot going on. I can't even keep up with who's visiting this weekend. I'm not sure if – I don't think it would be a whole lot of – a big number of visitors this coming up weekend for the first official visit weekend. We saw all the decommits this week as well, all the visits that happened this week. Even Jaheim Singletary, current Georgia commit, 5-star at Jacksonville, getting a visit yesterday, I believe, on Thursday. So there's just so much stuff going on right now. In Gator Nation and everything that comes along with the coaching change and reassessing the board for recruiting. So let's see who else is in here. All right, Cody, bringing you in here. You can unmute your mic, Cody, if you want to speak. Okay, maybe not. Okay. I was trying to find. I had a list somewhere of potential coach stuff, making sure I went through all of that. But let's bring some more people in here. Dave Jones, Gator News.
David, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
I heard you say that Tony would be coaching. Did you say the inside linebackers? I thought he was supposed to be coaching the safeties.
Oh, is that? You know what? You're right. I did. Yep, that was on my.
Oh
That's
no,
my
you're
bad.
fine, man. I just wanted.
Yeah. As soon as I said that, I put that in the back of my mind. Was that right? But yeah, you were right.
I just wanted to make sure I was straight, man. No problem.
Yeah, you are. You are straight. You are straight. That was a mistake on my part. Good point. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out.
All right,
there.
thanks, David.
Yep. Apologize for that, guys. Where was I going to go next? Yeah, the Jacob Copeland news. I don't think anybody really completely surprised by that one. After I see Jen in here and Eddie on here as well for the Gator Collective event we had the other night on Spaces. That was fun, by the way. Thanks for Jeff Cardozo for hopping on with me and getting that underway and spreading the message for the Gator Collective. But Jacob Copeland was in that and did not have a glowing review of the meeting with Billy Napier and basically expressing once again that this isn't the Sun Belt, this is the SEC, and didn't really have a whole lot of good to say there. So I think the writing was on the wall pretty much there. That was, Tuesday night, a couple of days after the meeting with Billy Napier, and a lot of people were kind of following along with that anyway. We had a lot of players, speak good to the meeting that they had there with Billy Napier. A short, 30, 45 meeting on Sunday, minute meeting on Sunday. But I just think even besides that, there was a lot of writing on the wall that we could probably see the end of Jacob Copeland in a Gator uniform, and not the stats really to go and put himself in NFL draft talk. So if he wanted something different, it was just going to look. I mean, different was happening in Gainesville, but I guess he did not feel comfortable after an initial meeting with Billy Napier, and maybe did not like what he saw in the meeting. I mean, he's going to rub some people the wrong way. This is the nature of a coaching change. You're going to have transfers. You're going to have transfers out. And it's probably not done. there. We'll see. I've had a couple people ask me, a couple people tell me. This was in the Gators Breakdown Discord last night. Look out for another, I probably consider major player, starter, on his, maybe transferring on his way out. I'm trying to get more confirmation there as far as, but the word is I won't shy away from it. I'm not saying it's true or not, but the rumors are out there. I'm not going to hide the rumors away from you. Look out for Mamu Diabate in the news, maybe him transferring out of the Florida program as well. So look, this is a nature of a coaching change, especially one with a whole lot of change. So if it happens, we'll see where it goes from there. But keep an eye on that one, maybe sometime soon. Because, like I said, it was thrown from. Look, when I share stuff like that, it's somebody that has given me information that has checked out plenty in the past. So if I share it, I'm not going to sit here and say 100% it's going to happen. But if I put it out there, okay, it's from somebody that I've heard, and they've been right in the past. So that's the latest on that one as far as maybe another transfer out. But that is the nature of a coaching change, unfortunately. And then also you got to go through spring practice coming up as well. Probably more after that when guys figure out where they're at on the depth chart. Maybe figure out how different this is going to be. This is going to be different from a Dan Mullen coach team. These guys were recruited by Dan Mullen. They had a relationship. No matter how bad it was on the field, they still were recruited by this staff. They still had a lot of close relationships with this staff. And speaking of that part of it, and not any of those guys being retained on field so far, Christian Robinson, I think, still one to look out for. His relationship maybe in bowl practices, I think that's going to be the kind of process here to see if he can be on this new staff. Bowl practices coming up. I think it starts today, actually. And the relationship, I think, there will be – I think Billy Napier will watch that one pretty close, see if Christian Robinson maybe a spot for him on the staff. And now thinking about, how I weighed out the coaching staff roles. Yeah, with Tony being safety, there's still that linebacker spot open there, and maybe Christian Robinson's part of that one. But that's one about the only current we've already seen from other staff members announcing their I guess, news from Billy Napier that they're not going to be retained. We haven't really heard from Christian Robinson publicly at all, as far as that regard, whether it be on social media or any other form, that if he's going to be retained or not. Word is Billy Napier is going to keep an eye, see how everything works out, look at bowl practices, see the relationship between Christian Robinson and some players, and then maybe make a decision on him. Hopefully in the coming week, and hopefully pretty soon, because you love to get another staff member on the trail recruiting right now. Anybody? No, okay, nobody in here. There. Let's see. I'm trying to think of everything else. AR surgery went well, so all good there. We're not playing the bowl game, but that's to get that meniscus all cleaned up, get it ready, get a recovery time. Hopefully in time for spring practice. Hit the ground running with Billy Napier and staff. So there you go. As far as when practice opens up today for bowl practice in UCF, it will not be a Anthony Richardson-led offense. All right, guys, if you a lot being thrown your way right now, so if you want to get in here and discuss it all, hop in here. As I said, all the new staff coming in, leaving. Copeland, Evers, Raymond. Plenty to discuss. What's up, Steve?
Yes, I got a question for you, or an opinion. Looking back on some of Napier's tape, he's more of a run-orientated coach.
Yep.
Given that I've seen some of the things on Twitter of him and the new running back coach going out and getting recruiting some, I forget his first name, but Citizen, I believe, one of the top-rated running backs.
Yep, Louisiana.
So, could you possibly see like a whole new Gator offense coming, like back in the day when Fred Taylor was toting the rock almost every down, and throwing in the mixture of AR's ability to run? I mean, could we see something really special here coming in the next couple of years with a whole new run-orientated Gator offense?
Yeah, and they had ETN too out there in Louisiana. So two running backs there, top 100, 150 type running backs for out of the state of Louisiana. If you watch Louisiana last week in the Sun Belt or any time this season with Levi Lewis at quarterback, if you're looking at Anthony Richardson, it's going to be a very similar offense to that. It's a spread you out power. I mean, it's not very far away from Dan Mullen's offense with a power style run, spread you out type of offense. It's not that different. A little more veer, going back to his dad's roots in an offense that he learned growing up. But it's not so different than what we saw under Dan Mullen. But I do think we'll want to feature the running backs a bit more when you look at it. So, there's going to be some adaptation to it as well. I mean, he threw the ball a good bit at Arizona State. But then I think once he got a certain level of talent at Louisiana, shifted his offense around that. But I think with AR, Lingard, Bowman, maybe Naquan Wright as well, I would assume he comes back. That's exactly that offense that we saw last week when everybody was watching the App State Sun Belt Championship game. It's going to be very, very similar to that, at least to me, to start with, with AR. But with him being the starting quarterback.
Yeah, because, I saw how good we were against Alabama, for instance, in the run game, and then all of a sudden it's like Dan Mullen pulled away from running the ball so much, and I thought it was a strength of ours having that running back committee, even though I would have loved to see Damian Pierce a little more.
Yeah, I do think that was early in the season. I do think defense was caught on a little bit. There were some injuries up front as well. I do think you're going to have to hit the transfer portal hard. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say you're going to find some great offensive linemen in the transfer portal. That it's really hard to acquire through the transfer portal. Good offensive linemen don't really go with the transfer portal. That's just kind of been a trend so far. Or you're not going to get a big number of them anyway. So that's something to look out for. But I do think teams figured that's what Florida could do well. It didn't take them long to adjust. Injuries up front. Then once they also figured out they could stop the quarterback run, mostly with Emory. Once they figured that out, and play stopping him being able to run the ball, the offense was pretty easy to figure out. So I think Dan Mullen went away from the run game a bit just because it was no longer going to be there. And that's why the offense was stuck in, inconsistent performances, I guess I should say, because you just didn't know what you were going to be able to get out of the run game.
So basically the same thing that's happened in Jacksonville as well?
Yeah. Well, they got to run it back. They need to get the ball too, but they just refuse to. So.
All right. Well, thank you.
I guess, and I guess very similar to the Damian Pierce storyline there.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
No problem.
Siler.
Hey, Dave. Just a quick question. How important do you think this bowl game is to the players? It just seems like, of course, it has to be UCF, who has the worst fan base in the world. So if they win, it's their Super Bowl. And if we win, it's, well, we should have. And we're in the middle of a coaching staff change, and players are transferring that are going to be in the game. To me, it's almost like, why even play? I just feel like it's lose, and I don't think the team is very motivated at all. So I just want to get your thoughts on that.
You still get the bowl game swag and the gifts, so I'm sure that plays some part in it as well. The coaching staff that stays around if they don't get new jobs, they get those nice bowl game bonus checks. So there's, besides maybe more than the game itself, some incentive to go and accept the bowl game. But you do hope that they go out there, and once again, like in the the FSU game, I guess, while a regular season game didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things either. They went out there and put a performance, for some kind of state pride, and it's pride for the logo, pride for the orange and blue. And you hope you see that again. But you're right, bowl games. Look, we learned last year from the staff, bowl games weren't all they were cracked up to be. That was pretty much an admission from Dan Mullen and staff that, hey, bowl games are just what they are. Exhibition games, we're not going to take them all that serious. So we'll see if that thought translates to a year later. Unfortunately, hopefully it doesn't. There'll be a lot of Gator fans. It is in state, easy drive. They're in Tampa. You'll have a good bit of fans that I hope would want to go to the game and see the performance. But this is like you said, a lame duck staff. A lot of these players, may not be on the team after this. So playing UCF probably helps a bit too, or at least you hope it would, so they don't want to go out there and embarrass the logo, go out there and play for some pride again, some state pride again. As you said, hopefully because it's UCF, you don't want to hear all the chirping from them, so it goes out. They go out there and play, but it's so hard to predict. This is one last time to go play together with these teammates. So you can sit here and point at things that they should do, and point at things you'd like to see because of the situation. But mentally, it's just a pure guess that those guys are going to be ready to play for it. And also just coaching staff. Of course, they're not fully mentally bought in to this. I don't care what anybody says. They're worried about their next job. They're worried about finding their next job. Unfortunately, it's just kind of the nature of the business, the situation Florida is in right now.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, man. Let's see. Baseball bully, I pulled you in here. Let's see. Bring in Gator Jeff. Hello.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
Good, man. I was fussing with this mic, but the guy before me kind of stole what I was going to ask. But I had another question. But back to the UCF thing. I just don't see it being any. I just don't see how, with all the distractions, and I call them distractions, but the change.
Yeah.
How we're going to be able to just have a decent. I'm hoping, like you said, you never know, but I hope. I'd hate to lose to UCF, man. I just can't. I can't take that.
I hear you on that one. And what was it? Was it the Birmingham? Was it the Birmingham Bowl that was the last coaching transition
For Muschamp?
Yeah,
against ECU,
because there was no bowl game last time because of the record was so bad going from McElwain to Mullen.
Yeah,
and then you had the ECU Birmingham Bowl, the last coaching transition bowl game.
Will Copeland play in that game or no?
You know what? I think I heard yesterday that he is, and I think a lot of people were saying, "Okay, why are you going to announce that you're going to transfer to add just one more distraction to everything?" Now, look, I'm sure some of the players already knew anyway, so probably no huge big surprise, but it is another public distraction out there as far as that goes. But I think I heard yesterday, like I said, as you can already tell, information's flying in left and right. At this time, but I do think that I saw or heard that he is going to play in the bowl game.
That's good. I have a question for you, and I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
So if you took a cumulative look at all that's going on, now I can't do all the research that you do, and I don't want to because that's not my job. But if you just step back and you looked at the coaching hires and you looked at the players leaving and all the cumulative things that are going on, how on a scale of 1 to 10, your confidence level on how things are going, how do you feel as Gator Dave, with all your contacts, all your information, just one number between 1 and 10, how do you feel things are going for us?
I'll put it at an 8 right now. I'll go fan first. And I said this week. Situations like this, I've always said I'm a fan first. I have no problem admitting that whatsoever. As far as the new coaching hire goes, I'm in the belief of I'm going to trust you till you give me a reason not to. Now, a lot of people are going to be out there saying that you got to earn my trust. I mean, that's all well and good. Yeah, that can absolutely be – that's your prerogative. And I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. My view from a fan point of view, my fan stance is going to be I'm going to trust you till you give me a reason not to. And all these decommits and everything that's been going on this week, that does not speak that part of this to me at all. There's going to be change. Am I surprised by some of the decommits and maybe communication? Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. But we shouldn't – I mean, after his press conference the other day, we shouldn't be surprised by the plan. Might be surprised by the results right now, early on. But, look, it's scorched earth right now. And, honestly, that could be what this program needs. And that's not to say, you tear it all down or anything like that. I don't think that's going to be the case. But if he should absolutely be given the chance to do it his way. And this is the way he wants to do it, then by all means do it. That's the reason we hired him. That's the reason he's the head coach at Florida. Change needed to be made. Culture change needed to be made. Mental changes need to be made from the top down. And if he feels that's the best way to do it, then by all means do it. Now, could this mean it's a little bit of a slower process? It could. I don't know. A lot of people are throwing out there the kind of Mel Tucker model that he did at Michigan State this past cycle, where it was a kind of a small class, hit the transfer portal really hard in the first class, to fill in some of the holes. That won't be the complete plan here. As Billy Napier moves on through the years, could it be an initial first-year plan? Sure. Florida's going to have to hit the transfer portal in the trenches anyway. We know that. Florida lacks offensive linemen. You're going to maybe have to get some bodies there. And besides Gervin Dexter in the middle, who you point to at defensive tackle that's going to get you all excited either. So Florida's going to have to hit the transfer portal anyway. But right now, I'm still full support mode. Let's go see where let's see where this maybe in the recruiting side of it, scorched earth approach takes us, and we'll go from there. But I'm I'm completely okay with everything that's happening right now. Maybe a bit surprised at some of it, but I'm completely okay with it.
I agree with you. I did see the other day in the Gator Collective meeting, I did see some 5-star Penn State commit in there listening.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if you noticed that.
No, I didn't.
Can't remember his name, but he was he was like the number, I want to say 24th player in the country, and he's committed to Penn State, but he was in there listening, so I did notice that. So there might be some good things happening behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Look, and honestly, I can say that's probably part of it. Like I said, this Corey Raymond, I didn't see it from anybody before it happened. Nobody whatsoever. There was no inclination. Nobody gave a hint. I mean, there was nothing before it happened. And some of this recruiting could be the same way. We get thrown, in the position that I am sometimes. People love sharing information. And hopefully, we'll get ahead of some of that stuff like that. But if we don't, okay. As I said, right now with all the change going on, and Billy Napier might be, and also coming with coaching change, sources change as well. And everybody he has around him could be a lot more tight-lipped than the last staff, and not letting leaks get out. And we'll see. We'll see what that means. But as you said, there could be some surprises along the way, and hopefully there are. But I won't bank on it. I won't count on it, but I won't completely dismiss it either. So we'll see where all this goes with the coaching staff change, and what leaks, what doesn't leak. And I don't mind being surprised whatsoever. I don't have to be in front of everything. Like I said, I'm still a fan in a lot of ways, like you guys are. So I'm completely okay with being surprised by everything that's happening. See, Gator Jeff, you in here?
Yeah, this is Jeff. How you doing, Dave?
Good. How about you?
Good. Go Gators. Huge fan of your work, man. I've been listening to you for quite a while now, and you're finally making it big time. This is big time for you. This is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm telling you, the last month or so has been huge. So that's a great segue right quick before we get. Thank you everybody who's involved, whether it be Gators Breakdown, Gators Breakdown Plus, Gator Collective, people that's in here as well. Everything we've been trying to get involved with that and growing that thing as well. YouTube subscribes, Twitter follows. I mean, it's been nuts the last few weeks, but in a good way.
Yeah. Just one quick question. With Corey Raymond coming over, do you see any of the LSU people coming with them that are in the transfer portal? I know they got a few that are in there. Ricks is one of them, I believe, or is he on his way?
Yeah, that's where I'll start, Jeff. If you don't mind, everything I heard, he wants to play for a title contender as his college career is winding down. That's the gist that I've heard as far as the storyline goes with him. But I don't know if he could see his DB coach leaving LSU to go to Florida. So maybe that can play a part in this. There will be ample opportunity to gain a starting position at the University of Florida, if Kyrie Elam leaves, which I fully expect to. Rumor is he's going to play in the bowl game as well. That's the latest I heard as well. So, we talked about the bowl game and maybe players buying in. Well, maybe Kyrie Elam can lead the charge there if he's going to play in the bowl game, not sit out, get prepared for the NFL draft. Now, we'll see where that goes as far as sending a message to the rest of the team. But, there would be an opportunity there if he does go to the NFL draft and Rick's is sitting there. Look, I know Georgia was thought to be a landing spot for him when it was announced. As I said, from everything I heard, he was playing for a contender. But, as I said, the surprise move of Corey Raymond from LSU to Florida, maybe there's leaving the door open just a bit.
Yeah. And I don't really pay attention to the transfer portal, and I know I've heard there's a few other guys from LSU that are in there, but I'll listen off the air or off this thing. So go Gators, and appreciate your work.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I'd have to go through and look at LSU and everything going on around there too, as far as players. I don't really know much more. Ricks is the only one that I've really kept an eye on as well. But if anything happens, we'll be sure to cover it here. So Carrie and Dustin, bring you guys in here. Dustin, I think your mic's open.
Oh, hey, Dave. How you doing, sir?
Hey, man. Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. I think I met you actually a long time ago in the stadium when we were watching some recruits before we got Kyrie Elam and so forth. It's been a while, though, but we do appreciate your show, man. It's really cool. I watch it on YouTube, and I do have a few questions if that's cool, man. How many recruits do you see us taking, do you think, this class? I know it's been kind of, him cleaning house, and I know the coach mentioned Napier, that is, 25 people possibly, but I mean, at this point in time, it's hard with the early signing day and all that stuff, but do you see us taking a fair amount of people? I mean, do you have any idea at all?
I really don't. When he mentioned 25, I think that was just a generic number for, that's how many you can sign every year. So I don't know. I don't know how, a class of 15 would even be that large. I see it. I don't see it getting to 20. I don't think it even gets anywhere close to that. If you ask me right now, I'd probably say in that 10 to 15 range, which, may tick some people off. I don't know. I think he's going to be very careful about the approach. Look, we got early signing day Wednesday. I don't even know who's safe to sign on Wednesday, honestly, to tell you the truth. As I said, it's been kind of hard to keep up with who's even going to visit this weekend. Official visits, his first official visit weekend will be this weekend. They're trying to put a list together for that. It's kind of been up in the air right now. I won't even pretend to know. I won't make up just anything there. If I could put a number on it, I'd say 12, 15 range. I don't think any more than that whatsoever. But maybe, like I said, a lot's not coming. While there does seem to be a whole lot of information coming out, there's also a lot of information not coming out. So maybe he sits there and surprises. Maybe he's got some big grandiose plan here as far as getting together some class. But I think everything that he told us and everything that we can go back and look at his first, it was a bit different. The Louisiana job was his first job overall. So maybe a little bit slower approach there, of course. But I think that was a good sign of he's not going to be in a hurry early and just go sign bodies just to be signing bodies.
Exactly, which probably is him just being thorough, right? That's what you heard about him and read about him, is that he's very thorough and he's very thought out, and even Saban had many, many positive things to say about him. I do have another question, Dave, if possible. Who do you see being like the co-defensive coach or like our defensive coordinator? Because I know, our new guy, Corey Raymond, who I'm seriously stoked about. That dude has had some studs in his career, and he's been such a good coach. Who do you see possibly being a coach for our defense?
I did speak on that earlier.
Sorry.
All good. Try not to repeat too much, but Tosh Lapoy's name is the big name being thrown out there right now. The former Alabama assistant, now coaching with the Jacksonville Jaguars, defensive line coach. He could come in and easily coach the defensive line or linebacker and be that and get that co-DC title, especially with his ties to Napier from their time back in Alabama. So that's the big name that's out there right now. That's not much of a surprise, but that's just that's what's trending out there.
I just love that he's getting coaches that are just all different, but they're valuable, in their own way, and they're very in particular. And I mean, like you said, the Corey Raymond thing, that just blew me away when I saw that. My eyes lit up, and I was just like, wow. I mean, the guy's been at LSU for 10 years, and we picked him up. That's pretty ballsy, That's
my big move about that was, Florida's not the only program that went after him, not by any means. So it was another power move, one power move to get him away from LSU, another power move to keep him away from all the other programs out there.
And I'm so glad he picked us, man, because we've had a lot of good DBs, but I feel like I love how we're going to do not doing press man coverage, stuff like that, which is what we've been good at for a long time. Is just everything changes, but it's good to see someone back in there in the helm that's going to coach them up, coach our players up. And we got some good players still, I think. But
yeah.
Just
Kevin
can't wait.
Hagan, I don't remember if you guys remember Kevin Hagan, who was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago talking about Billy Napier and remember everything that he remembered from it was the Getting to Know Billy Napier episode. And Kevin, he just messaged me on Twitter. He goes, not surprised by the Tosh hire, which makes it sound like it's pretty close to being pretty as close to official or done as it can be. I'm telling you, you hired a hell of a coach. So there we go. One more reason to get excited, Gator Nation, about something like that.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, John. All right, who we got in here? Daniel, I just saw you requested. And Kerry, man, if you're in here, unmute your mic if you want to. There you go.
Good morning, Dave.
Hey, man, how are you?
I see Billy Napier ruffling some feathers right now. I see.
Yeah, and that's you know what, and that's okay.
Yeah. What you? I want to get your thoughts on the all business approach because I don't see no problem with it. I feel like we need discipline. I feel like that's the thing we've been missing down here in Florida: accountability, discipline. I feel like we've been missing all of that. So, how you feel about his all business approach?
I did bring that up just a second ago, right here, right before you. I don't mind it. I don't mind it whatsoever, man. It could be scorched earth approach for all I care, and that will mean some patience. That will mean some things are going to change. But this is the University of Florida. You don't get much time for that, but you can get some patience. I'll put it out there for that. Everybody knows the expectations there, but I think as long as you can keep pointing to benchmarks and keep pointing to things trending in the right direction, there will be some patience. And that's what ultimately failed Dan Mullen. There was nothing to point to that gave you excitement about the future. So whatever starting point we put Billy Napier at, as long as you can keep pointing to hope and forward progression, then he's going to get every chance to keep turning this thing around and keep putting Florida in a good spot. It starts with recruiting, and I think off to a good start from some of the staff that we're hearing about and some of the staff that we've already seen brought to the Florida staff. So I think there's a lot of things to already point to, but I don't mind. If players want to leave, then leave. If recruits don't want to come, then don't come. Right now, let him do it his way until I say support along the way early on. I'm not telling you to. But I may be asking you to. Maybe that's the best way to put it. Look, as you said, everything that's going on is ruffling some feathers, whether that be current players, whether it be recruits, staff. We'll see, and we'll see where it goes, man. It should be a fun ride.
Yeah, because when you get an offer from the University of Florida, man, I think it should be you got to take that serious, Dave. You can't, I just don't understand. But, I just want to say go Gators, man. And I'm glad we got Billy Napier. We need some type of structure down here in Florida. We need that. So I just want to say go Gators, and I appreciate you.
Thanks, Gary, man. All right. Brandon, I'll bring you in here, and then I'll probably call it on that one, guys. And Brandon, you can speak now if you want to. And Daniel, you're in here too. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey,
I wanted to expand on the ruffling feathers comment with, it seems a lot of fans and parents and recruits are angry about the request to record drills.
I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon. I meant to bring that up earlier and I completely forgot. So go ahead.
Well, I know at Alabama, I think they do it at Alabama, Georgia, and as well as a couple other schools. And I've done this at work where I don't think Napier is even looking at the actual drills. This is a test. This is a test so that he can see, okay, which recruits did it. No questions asked. They just said, okay, I'll do it. And then of those recruits, who showed that they have the work ethic to put out good effort in those drills? They didn't just film lazy tape. For him to see recruits and their parents to just off the bat, nah, we're not going to record something, that's an easy choice for him. And then for the videos that do come in of the recruits not giving out effort or show a lack of work ethic, that's also an easy choice. You can teach people drills, but it's way harder to teach people a good work ethic.
Brad, I completely agree with you, man. I think it is let's see who wants to be Gators first. No, look, I think he does probably want to get something out of the workouts. Could they be player specific? Could they want to see a certain thing? Sure, but I completely agree with you. I think it's more of let's see who wants to be a Gator. If you want to take the time to do this and do it right, that will speak and go a long way with me. Especially early on in this process. And not only that, I mean, he is a very busy guy right now. He is putting a staff together. He is out there making visits. He's all over the Southeast right now making visits. So, of course, if that request is coming out there, I don't think it's just let's do it just to be doing it. There's a calculated reasoning for all this. And I think, number one, it is, do you want to be a Gator? All right, here's something I'm asking you to do. Go do it and go do it the right way.
He's a calculated, cerebral guy, probably more than we've seen here in a very long time.
Yeah, and people who think that's lazy or far-fetched, it's not. To me, it's a pretty good initial approach here to kind of figure out an early path to get this thing worked out and in the right direction. Yeah. Brandon, thanks for bringing that up, man.
All right, thanks, man. Go Gators.
Go Gators. Dan, you in here, man?
Yeah.
There you are. Okay.
Kerry and Brandon stole my thunder. I'm going to say that, but I'll just reiterate. I would much prefer having high school walk-ons than some of these recruits that I've seen coming through with their recruit images and how they're selecting 5 or 6 schools, and I just felt like the children were running the classroom, and it was getting crazy last year. And I think it culminated with, I shouldn't mention his name, but one of the recruits that finally dropped off and said that they decommitted. I think that was a good thing. I like that Bill Napier is uncomfortable looking in a suit. I like that he's a little more blue collar, and I like that he's taking control of it as an adult, because I think that college football as a whole is starting
Daniel,
before you go
further, at least the suit fits.
Yeah, well, that's true. At least he has a properly fitted suit. That's very nice. But I just have watched, listen, I'm sure these kids are great kids, but they're children nonetheless coming out of high school. And it seemed like they were dictating all the terms under Mullen, under McElwain, definitely not under Urban Meyer, though. And so the last time we had a CEO was Urban Meyer, in my opinion. Until the end, of course, yes. That was a little strange how that all ended. But anyway, I don't want to take up any more time. I know you're ending your show, but I'm just glad that the children are not running the classroom right now, and that maybe there's an adult, a teacher, that's going to step in and say, just like you, Kerry, and Brandon all said, do you want to be a Gator? Great, then you're going to do it this way. The logo means something. And when you listen to or you see the tweets from Snell and Jaquez Green and Rita Anthony, Ahmad Black is very vocal on here. I mean, that's basically what they're saying without saying it.
Yeah.
So
those guys have brought up. I think so, man. Yeah, those guys have brought up culture change. Those guys have brought up attitude, accountability, all those key words. Right now, look, they are more than keywords. That's exactly what Florida needs right now. And look, granted, every coaching change, this is what you hear. You hear about things like this. You hear about all the changes that are going to be made and all the changes that need to be made and all that stuff happening. And granted, while you hear about it doesn't mean it's not true. Yeah, you might hear about it in every coaching change, but there's a reason coaching changes are made. And you hope, as we said, we brought up everything in the last few minutes here of requests to players and everybody getting on the same page, and at least mentally and attitude-wise. You hope that's what comes across here early, and honestly, it also sets the stage early on of what to expect. This isn't some fake bravado from Billy Napier right now. you're learning about this guy, and you're learning right away what the approach is going to be. So either get on board or get out of the way.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, man. All right. Last couple here, Unique and Roy. I'll bring you guys in here, and then that will be it. I will call it after this one, after these two. Hey, Unique. How you doing, man?
I was trying to see. I don't know if you covered it, but I'm trying to understand because I don't remember the last time we had a new coach and went to a bowl. What year was that?
Yeah, I actually did bring that up. So I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was the Birmingham Bowl,
right,
in between Muschamp and McElwain.
McElwain, okay, he did have a bowl there.
In Florida,
yeah, that was Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Did we get blown out by Michigan?
East Carolina.
East Carolina. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Birmingham Bowl.
Okay, I got you. So, how is this being handled?
The Adam Lane game.
Yeah. I got you. How is this being handled? Like, is it Napier or is it just are we doing Greg Knox still? How is this?
Yeah, Greg Knox still interim coach. The previous staff still handling all the bowl prep. If they get new jobs, they can take those new jobs, and you're probably getting some grad assistant or lower support staff member that will take a role, kind of like what happened on the offensive line after John Hevesy was let go. But that's now Napier will be there, but no say, nor a desire to say anything that happens in this game. You know, you're not implementing the system, you're not putting your terminology, you're not doing anything in a couple of weeks. So it's just observe, kind of his first evaluation of these current Florida players and where it goes. But yeah, it's still Dan Mullen staff doing everything for the bowl prep.
Will we have any players to play?
Jacob. Somebody did send it to me. It was in Jacob Copeland's message that he put out on social media. Even though he is transferring, he's still going to play in the bowl game and all that. So yeah, and I've even heard Kyrie Elam. I mentioned this earlier. From last I heard, the plan is to play in the bowl game for him as well. So hopefully that sends some type of positive message to the rest of the team that, hey, let's go get one more win for each other. Go out there and, in a way, make up for – you're not making up for this season, but in a way, make up for this season and make up for that crappy bowl game last year, that performance. At least show Gator Nation mentally that you want to go out there and play some football.
Yeah, we can't lose to UCL. It just can't happen.
And that's another thing. You don't.
It cannot happen. Oh God. Oh God. We won't hear the last of that one.
Yeah, I don't want to see that one either. No matter what the situation. No matter what the situation for Florida is, I mean, we can make all the excuse, and there'll be legit excuses. There definitely will be with everything that's going on. But you still don't want to go lose that game.
You can't lose that. Not the Gus. No. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I had even talked to some of the players. Me and their parents are close here because I stay here in Lakeland.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing is just basically you got all these transfer portals. It's basically to put your name out there in 2 weeks to see if anything grabs.
I can see that.
It's still kind of open to open. I talked to one of the parents. It's basically that's what's going on. So hopefully Billy can convince him to stay, but that's just I guess I wouldn't say leverage because
yeah.
I mean, but I guess it's just to see who's interested, I guess.
That's the process of it right now.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, man. Yep. All right. That will do it here, guys, for this Twitter Spaces. Thanks so much for hanging on this roller coaster right now of everything that's going on in Gator Nation. Look, as soon as this thing gets posted, I'm sure there'll be already new information out there, some new news out there. So that's just the nature of covering the Gators right now. Never a dull moment for sure. So everybody, thank you for listening to Gators Breakdown all week. Thanks for all the interaction on social media. Thanks for all the subs and the follows, everything that's out there in this busy, busy time for Gator Nation. Absolutely appreciate it. and we'll be here. We'll be here for you guys to talk it all through. Unless it's big, gigantic breaking news, don't expect another episode until Monday. But that's just kind of the nature of it right now. I'll be here ready to go if anything big comes out there. So, all right, that'll do it for this Twitter Spaces, everybody. Thank you so much, and I'll holler at you later on.